Hi, I'm Anna Yosin, and this is Whole-Soul Living. Today I'll be talking about the yoga pose cat-cow Marjariasana. So with this, we're going to start in tabletop. I'm going to give you all of the alignment cues for this. There's, just like Tadasana, there's a lot more alignment cues than you would think. You think it's a really basic move, but the basic moves are the foundation for everything. So we're going to go ahead and get in tabletop. Go ahead and find yourself on the hands and the knees, and just make sure that the wrists are directly underneath the shoulders. The knees are directly underneath the hips. So check your alignment there. Make sure your hands aren't too far forward, out, or in, and same thing with your knees, right? Right underneath those hips. Now we're gonna take a look at the hands placement, okay? So everybody's body is a little bit different. Everybody's bone structure is different. Anatomy is different. And so your anatomy may not be at the same exact placement as mine. Now, what you want to do here is rotate externally those shoulders so that the eye of the elbow comes forward, okay? So we don't want those elbows to be bent out to the side. We're keeping those elbows pointed backwards and the eye of the elbow forward. Now, your body might be that you need to turn your hands out a little bit, and that's okay. You just don't want to be way out here with that, okay? So as best you can, keep the fingers pointed forward. Rotate a little bit if you need to. And then from there, we're going to press into the fingertips, the knuckles, and the palm, especially that place between the pointer finger and the thumb. So just have a play with that. Shift your weight forward a little bit, and then notice how pressing into your fingers actually activates the muscles in your forearms. This is really good. That's a good thing. That's going to help you prevent your wrists from getting too strained. Now, notice what you want to do naturally. Now, for me, what I naturally want to do is kind of internally rotate the shoulders and press into the butt of the hand, letting part of that hand come up. And that's not good. So that's going to put a lot of strain on our wrists. So what I need to do is rotate those shoulders out and press firmly into all 5 knuckles, all 5 fingertips, and really keep that stability there. So there's a lot more happening with the hands than you would think. And this is an important thing for the plank, the side plank, the downward facing dog, the handstand, anything where you're really using your hands. You want to protect your wrists by really engaging through those fingertips. So we're going to do a little bit of a warm up once we get into that for the wrists, which I'll show you later, but I just want you to have that alignment. Now, the next thing is going to be the placement of the knees. So you want to make sure those knees are directly under the hips, right? So they're not too far out, they're not touching in the middle, they're right under those hips, and think 90 degrees, just like you would a table, right? So if a table had legs that were out to the side, it wouldn't hold up very well, right? That table would break much easier. So we want to think of ourselves like a table. This is tabletop. From there, let's talk about the abdomen. Think about pulling the belly button in, drawing the navel in, and making a complete straight line from the head all the way through the body, through the tailbone, okay? So what often happens here is we kind of hang out and get a little arch in the back. So you want to pull the abdomen in, draw the navel in, pushing firmly into the hands, starting with this really strong tabletop position to start with, right? So have a play with that. Go down on the hands and knees, find your tabletop, find your neutral tabletop. We're not pushing or pulling, we're just finding neutral right now. Another thing is thinking about the Mula Bandha and the Uddiyana Bandha, which are the root lock and the solar plexus lock. So you're pulling in and up on the abdomen, pulling in and up on the pelvic floor muscles, and really keeping that engagement there without straining too much. So think of that active engagement of the transverse abdominis and the pelvic floor. From there, what we're going to do is just warm up the shoulders. So I'm going to take a big inhale, and then drop my shoulders down. I want to squeeze the shoulder blades together, okay? I'm pressing into the fingertips, I'm pressing into the knuckles, and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing those shoulders, and then I'm going to push the floor away. So we separate the shoulder blades. It's almost like we're stretching that spot in between the shoulder blades, still pushing into the palms, the fingertips, and the knuckles. We're not doing anything with the lower spine right now. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, and we want to reach the ears away from the shoulders. So try not to squeeze your shoulders up, pull them down, and then squeeze them back. Squeeze, 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 and then push the floor away. Good. One more time. Inhale, squeeze those shoulder blades down and back, activating those muscles, pushing into the fingers, and then exhale, push the floor away. Then find a neutral, okay? So we have that, that's with the upper back. From there, we're gonna isolate that lower spine. So draw the navel in, big inhale, and then we keep the shoulders where they are. We're gonna point that tailbone up towards the ceiling. So we're isolating that lower spine, still pressing into the fingers. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone down, isolate that lower spine, still drawing that navel in. Try not to move the upper back. Inhale, point the tailbone up, and exhale, point the tailbone down, drawing the navel in. One more. Go as big as you can here. Just trying to get some movement in that lower spine. That spot gets really stuck for a lot of people. And then find neutral again, okay? So from here, we're gonna take a nice big inhale. Exhale, combine both of them. Push the floor away, separate the shoulder blades, tuck that tailbone in, or push that whole spine up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, lift the chin, lift the tailbone, drop the spine down as we look up. Exhale, push the floor away, rounding. And inhale into cow. You can even have a play with a spinal wave. So you can start with the tailbone and roll up one vertebra at a time in both directions. You see how that wave is? Or you can start with the head. So tuck the chin under and then roll down one vertebra at a time. Just get that spinal flexibility. And then you could do it all at once. So there's a few ways you can play around with the cat-cow. Now, the breath is exhale on the cat, inhale on the cow. So that's your basic cat-cow. What I want you to think about is isolating the parts of your spine that feel really stuck. Okay, so if the middle part of your spine feels stuck, if the lower or upper part, when those spots that just don't flow, focus in on those and see if you can get a little bit of motion there. You might not be able to, but even just a tiny millimeter helps make a difference in loosening up the fascia in your back and help getting a little bit of movement between your vertebrae. That's really, really good for your spine. So have a play with that. And let me know what you think, if you're able to do it, if you're not able to do it, if you have any questions about it, or anything to add to this that might help other people, go ahead and write that in the comments below and share that with us. That's it for the cat-cow today. Again, just thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.